I'm going to tell you why that I'm not going to be playing Wrath of the Lich King Classic, alright? Let's just get right into it. One of the main reasons is that there is no dungeon finder. I know a lot of people hated the dungeon finder, but for players like me, players that don't have friends, players that don't mesh well into guilds, players that don't already have a support group, and you maybe think, but you're a YouTuber, you have like all these subs, dude, everyone will play with you. No, they don't. They never do. I've tried to have my audience play with me, and they just don't. They like people say they do, and then they don't. So the thing is, without Dungeon Finder, I'm going to be spending hours and hours and hours trying to find a group, and that's, like, even if I'm a tank, okay? If I'm a tank, I'm gonna be, like, finding bad groups with really bad DPS, AFK healers, and so on and so forth. It's just absolute misery. I don't want to have to chat in the game chat, which I'll probably be muted for saying something at some point, which I won't even be able to use the chat, which means I can't even do dungeons anyway. But regardless of that, the Dungeon Finder made things just convenient, okay? Let me talk about that. So, back in the day, because like I did everything I ever wanted in Wrath of the Lich King. I was a very wealthy, very powerful player. I actually had 4 World of Warcraft accounts full of max geared characters, and you know, it was a great time. You know, I hit Gladiator every season. It was awesome. But Dungeon Finder was my favorite part of Wrath of the Lich King. I know that sounds weird, okay, but it really was. And what I would do is I would multi-box 4 tank characters, and I would have instant queues. I would hit, you know, I want to do this dungeon as a tank, and it was like da-da-da-da, and it would just pop up, and I immediately play. Whereas, as you can see on the image on the screen here, playing as DPS, it was like a 2-hour wait, okay? Can you imagine waiting 2 hours just to do one single dungeon? Healers had anywhere from a 15 to 45-minute wait, depending on the time of day that you played, alright? And back in the day, I was a wagey. I worked, you know, 12-hour shifts, and I would come home at like 2 in the morning, where not a lot of people were online because of school hours or work hours and so on and so forth. So just having Dungeon Finder was just another little added bonus, another added benefit to just the playability of the game. The fact that they're taking it out is not true to the original Wrath of the Lich King vanilla experience, in my opinion. But here's the thing, right? I would actually come back and play Wrath of the Lich King under all of these circumstances. I'm not even recording. Oh, yeah, I am. Okay, wow. My UI was like, hey, do you want to record? Okay, here's all the things that I need in order to come back and play this game, okay? I'm going to need a fully supported guild playing on a fresh server as Horde that will allow me to be their tank or hunter. I actually never bothered to play hunter in Wrath of the Lich King, so I would be brand new to it, and I would probably be shitty for quite a while. But your guild has to have several different requirements. You're going to have to reach out to me in Discord for me to talk about those requirements, because I'm not going to list them all here. There's just way too many. But there are quite a few of requirements that your guild must have, okay? One of those being, like, it has to either be DKP or I need loot priorities, okay? Because I'm not gonna roll against you and all your inner circle friends while you trade each other stuff and, you know, under the table. I'm not gonna sit here and let a loot council, you know, skip me over, you know, week after week after week of, you know, wage slaving away in the virtual world. For your close inner circle friends, okay? I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to bother, okay? So if it's not DKP, or if I'm not your favorite, you know, best friend fun guy that you want to give all the loot to first, there's no point. I'm just not going to waste my time. All right, but with that said, hit me up in Discord if you truly, you know, have a guild and you're either the guild leader or you're in the inner circle of the officers circle and you're playing on a fresh server on Horde side. We can talk more about requirements, but regardless, that's one of the main reasons I'm not going to be playing. It's not just the group finder, it's the fact that I'm never going to top what I was able to do the first time around. And people are like, but you're a YouTuber, you need to make YouTube videos to survive, get to work wagey. And it's like, well, I was a YouTuber when Wrath of the Lich King existed, and those videos are still uploaded to this day to sites like Warcraft movies and other websites. So they're still out there, even though Warcraft Movies requires a premium subscription to access most of those videos, since they didn't back up all of them for some reason. But I'm sure I can just hit up Uzbeki, the webmaster, if he still owns the website. I don't know if he sold it, and you know, get those videos back from him. But even then, like, I don't see too many people playing this, honestly. I mean, yes, it was the most successful expansion, but there was a reason it was successful. It's going to be different now. Everyone's going to be min-maxing and parsing, and it's just not, all the fun is going to be gone. I don't see how it's supposed to be fun for anybody. But for me, the most fun thing out of the entirety of Wrath of the Lich King was the Dungeon Finder. Bar none, it was the thing that kept me subscribing month after month after month. It was the #1 most fun thing in all of World of Warcraft, and let me explain why, for those that don't realize that I'm a huge troll and this is a trolling channel. Okay, let me explain to you, alright? I had 4 accounts, and I had 4 tanks, and I would use Dungeon Finder to immediately enter the queue and immediately start a dungeon, whereas the 3 DPS had to wait anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, as you can see in the screenshot, for a dungeon. The healer had to wait 15 to 45 minutes for their dungeon. I would then go in as the tank, mass pull a whole lot of mobs, and then bubble Hearth out, or just bubble, or use a, protection potion, or what. I would use something on each of the tank characters, all at the same time, mind you. I did this, I would alt-tab between 4 different games. I didn't use any weird multi-boxing tools or anything like that. I just manually did it. Okay, I'd get the, I'd dungeon queue on each of the 4 characters, run in, aggro as many mobs as I could, and then I would make sure that I don't have the aggro anymore through in-game mechanics. This would cause a wipe on the whole party, except for me, which was completely safe, and give them a repair bill. At this point, they would either stick around because they were desperate in hopes that I would actually start playing legit, or they would leave. And in which case, they would be put back in queue for another 1 to 2 hours. The healers, again, 15 to 45 minutes. Across 4 accounts, I was able to waste anywhere from 28 hours in a matter of a minute. Okay, so what I mean by that is, like, I hit the dungeon queue, it pops up immediately ready for my dungeon because I'm the tank, and, after 1 minute, I've already wiped 4 other people times 4, which is the equivalent of time vampiring 28 hours per minute. So the amount of trolling that I was able to accomplish was thousands of hours a day. Thousands and thousands of hours worth of trolling per day. Just consistently throughout all of Wrath of the Lich King. Once I had my, yeah, I played the game in other ways. I'd get on my rogue and do arenas and, get gladiator and go farm dungeons and go do raids on my Death Knight and stuff. And yeah, and the tank characters were all like ICC geared and stuff like that. But the point is that it was the ultimate in time-wasting trolling. It was possibly the most out of all trolling in the entire world, depending on what you're doing, it was the lowest effort trolling for the highest payload ever. It was just, like, I got so much dopamine that it's probably just made me into a little slime monster at this point. I've just turned to mush. My brain has melted from a dopamine overload. All right, and yeah, that's just what I find fun in video games. Okay, and the fact that this is not going to have the Dungeon Finder means that if I'm not playing a tank and constantly using the in-game chat, which the in-game chat was awful, like there's such a problem with bots in World of Warcraft these days that I don't see that happen. I see these little rush bots probably finding a way to AoE an entire dungeon, and everyone just does that to level up or something. Like, it's not going to be fun or adventurous. It's not going to be fun having to use your flying mount to auto-run way up high in the sky for like 5 minutes to get to the dungeon, and then enter the dungeon and take another 1 to 2 hours to assemble the group with people that... Like, what if you join one of these fresh servers? Because I would only play on a fresh server, and let me tell you why, okay? Like, let me finish my thought, though. You join one of these fresh servers, and it's somehow the unofficial Brazilian server, and now you're just on a server where you can't speak the native language at all, so you're forced to pay real money to transfer out if they even allow it, which I think for the first 3 months the fresh servers can't transfer out or something, so you're just screwed. You're just, right from the start, unless you want to learn Brazilian, you're screwed, okay? And that happened to a bunch of classic servers. I mean, it even happened to Fairlina. Fairlina got taken over. Alright, I don't know what happened with that. Like, Scarum died. Like, all the Alliance just left. They got BTFO'd. They got absolutely world PvP'd off the server. Okay? Like, that's 2 servers that I played in Classic, and they both died. Oh, man. But, let me tell you more about whatever else I was talking about, which I've already forgot, but I'm sure I'll circle back around to it if I ramble hard enough. and that is what the fresh servers. Yes, the reason why I wanted to play on a fresh server is because all these people have been able to do these DKP runs since Vanilla Classic, since the original Classic WoW. TBC Classic, of course, they've still been doing their DKP run, their GDKP runs, my bad, I'm sorry. And that allows them to just have an insane amount of wealth. An insane amount. An amount you're never going to get close to touching unless you also do the GDKP runs. And if you start now, you're going to be behind forever. I don't want to enter an economy where these rich assholes have hundreds of thousands of gold across 10 accounts, and they can just completely control the marketplace, the auction house. They have first dibs on all materials. They can set the prices to whatever it is they want, and you're stuck farming for hours to try to make up for that. It's just not going to be fun. I don't want to do it. There's no point. It's like, imagine if you started real life, and instead of one Jeff Bezos, the entire the entire town that you were born in were all Jeff Bezoses, but you're stuck living in hotels and trailer parks because your family line didn't play Classic and do GDKP runs. Okay, that's why I want to join a fresh server. And yes, the fresh servers will have GDKP runs too, but not at the amount of gold being slung around as the legacy or everlasting servers. And at least everyone starts out at square one, and because I don't have a job, I can play all day. I can play 19 hours a day due to not needing much sleep to operate. I can generally pull ahead of everyone that's not circling around in a guild and doing GDKPs, okay? So I can still at least be a middle-class citizen in World of Warcraft. I won't hit the upper class, of course, but I won't be on the poverty line. I don't want to be in the poverty line in World of Warcraft. I know what that's like in real life. I don't want to do it in the virtual world as well. I would rather just play something else where I would actually stand a chance economically, all right? But with that said, that's the only reason that I would play Wrath of the Lich King Classic, is if there's Dungeon Finder, if I can find a decent guild. I'm not going to manually find a guild, okay? Every time I go to Reddit or even the official forums and say, hey, I'm looking for an echo chamber guild, I'm looking for a guild that's trolling and griefing, incentivized, everyone just hides the thread, gets the Jannies to ban me, or they start shilling their own guilds. It's like, hey, join our guild instead. We got a bunch of girl gamers and stuff in our guild. Yeah, we're really nice and friendly and accepting of all your weird habits. Come join us instead. And it's just like, no, I don't want those guilds, man. It's every game, so I'm at the point where it's like, I'm just too much of a little goblin to play these games anymore. I feel like if a game requires a guild, requires a large group of players, I joined one of the top guilds from PlanetSide 2 to play New World with, and they moved on to Star Citizen, and even they couldn't tolerate me. It's 11 months, and I didn't make a single friend in 11 months. That's 11 months wasted. All right, so I don't want to waste my time with people that don't like me. It's that simple. I just don't want to bother with it. With that said, without Dungeon Finder, what's the point? Why would I bother? I just want to troll. I just want to log in, and just run the dungeon. Even if I'm not trolling a dungeon, I just want to be able to click join dungeon, and then I have 3 DPS and a healer without having to beg in the general chat to other people. And most people are going to have guilds to do their dungeons with. Most people aren't antisocial like me. They're not weirdos like me. Well, they're weird in their own way, okay? And, it depends on who's calling who weird. But the point is that I don't want to have to sit there for hours and be like, I'm looking for 3 DPS and healer. And then, the healer that joins is a keyboard, turning skill clicker that doesn't have the right spec or gear. I'd rather just hit Dungeon Finder, get a healer. If they suck, hit Dungeon Finder again until it works out. And it's just immediate. It's just boom, 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 done, right? And if you roll on a dead server, or a server that doesn't play at 3 in the morning because the entire server for some reason is filled with people that go to school and people that work daytime jobs, then you're just screwed if you're one of those overnight mega gamers like myself. You can't get away from it. And the only solution was the Dungeon Finder. And yes, it was cross server, and I didn't care if it was cross server. Just Just because I met some guy on a different, server that I'll never see again, I'm fine with that because it let me play the game. It let me play the parts of the game that I wanted to play. And without the dungeon finder, and without a guild, and without friends, there's no point to playing this game. I've already enjoyed it back in the day. It wasn't even that long ago. It was like, what, 2008, 9, 10? So what was that, 10, 12 years ago or something? It's still pretty fresh. I still have videos that I made back in the day that I can release, or rather repurpose, for the more Zoomer audience of today's world, because back then, videos were, you slapped on some Rammstein or something, and then you had a little kill montage, and it was good times. But now you can't do that. You have to, like, make it Zoomer friendly and stuff. But whatever, guys. I just wanted to let you know that I don't really have plans to play Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I don't really have plans to play anything at the moment. There's no games I'm looking forward to playing. Every game that I try out is just terrible, or they have terrible moderation, or they're filled with bots, or the company is too woke, or I don't have any friends to play the game with, or like Project Zomboid, like the controls were just so terrible, and it's just such a clunky, stupid game. I couldn't enjoy that one. New World, it's dead as fuck. Albion Online is I don't have people to play with. There's nothing to do until they release new content. Even then, they're gonna mess it up. You just know they're gonna mess it up. There's just no future games out there. I don't know what to do. And people are like, get a job, you loser. And it's like, well, I would get a job if I could qualify for anything that's worth doing, okay? I want you right now to go look up YouTubers that record their entire work shift of them working at McDonald's and tell me, is that what you want me to do? You want me to go to McDonald's and shovel nuggies into a box and use little squirt guns on burgers for 8 to 12 hours a day for like minimum wage? I don't think so. I think I would just rather be homeless and starving than do that. And that's the truth. It ain't gonna work out. I don't know. Once I run out of savings, this channel's just gonna fade into, everyone's gonna forget about it anyway. What's the point? The games aren't getting better. They haven't been getting better since 2003? 2004 is about when the gaming started to decline. And at this point, it's just like, what? I should have just done something else with my life. I should have just become a musician or something. Should have just, I don't know, started lifting weights sooner. Anything else. Just anything else, man. I am not looking forward to this Wrath of the Lich King stuff. But hey, if you happen to have a guild, with certain requirements, hit me up on Discord. Discord links in the description, or I don't know. There's links somewhere. Figure it out. Look at my other videos. There's links there. Whatever, guys. You get the point. I'm SwoleBenji. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for listening to my 17-minute, 18-minute rant on a still image screen. Look, I can zoom it out for you. There you go. There's your visual, whatever it's called, visual stimulation. There you go. Woo! It's earthquake time. Oh my God, earthquake. I know you want to see me troll and dispel people's world buffs and all that, but that time is past. It's just done. That's just part of it. I mean, like, if you're not playing a tank, like, say Dungeon Finder did exist, I would play a tank so I can avoid a 2-hour queue as DPS. I ain't waiting 2 hours to do one dungeon. Screw that. It's not worth doing. And tanks in Wrath of the Lich King hit really hard and are super PvP friendly. Like, you can absolutely grief and gank as a tank. And, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the video. I read every comment, so leave me a comment. Show some support if you can. I lost all my like, back in the day when I did WoW content, I had some really nice donations. Some really nice donators that regularly donated, and they all left when I started playing Albion and New World, and they never came back. So, like, I don't know, man. I just miss that. I miss those guys. Those guys were cool. And I lost some people to New World. I guess, they played with that guild I joined, and then something happened. I don't know. I think they got, like, brainwashed against me. I have no clue. I don't know what my problem is, honestly. I just want to play games and for my own amusement. That's really it. Click the thanks button if you want to leave a monetary donation through YouTube. Otherwise, there's a streamable link if you don't want to do it through YouTube. You can click the join buttons, $5 a month to become a channel member. It's like subscribing on Twitch, but it's on YouTube, and YouTube's way better because Twitch has stupid rules. And other than that, videos every day. Not World of Warcraft videos every day, unfortunately. Probably Albion or something else. Maybe Star Citizen. I don't fucking know. But guys, thank you so much again. Just make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss tomorrow's video. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.